giving a tweet right after the fight. Any response to Terence Crawford, who had something to say?
Yeah, we ain't worriing about what the guy said. He retired. You know, we focus on tasking and taking over this division. We ain't worrying about retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terence up. Terence, he retired. Leave Terence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Y'all may have fun and enjoy his family.
Boot.
When you saw that he brought in Jaron, what was your reaction? Like your first initial reaction when you saw that news?
I actually didn't see it. Somebody showed me, and I was just like, "So what that mean? He's not me."
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities, and you know we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me. You know, and I'm not him.
You were on the show with Gilly, and he mentioned a bunch of names and just said, you know, are they going to be easy work or not? You said easy work to everybody, including Terence Crawford. You know, obviously he's had comments to Gilly about saying, you know, that he tried to make a fight with you. You were too young at the time. That's what your team said. Do you think any of this talk gets to a point where you get him to come out of retirement and face you?
I ain't care about that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm locked in on Xander Zayas. Don't ask me nothing else about nobody else. I'm Xander Zayas. That's it.
Respect to Boots. Take over that 154 division. Congratulations once again. And man, you deserve everything.
Thank you for taking this fight on. You had to do it. I'm gonna say it again. Do your thing.
Hey, and he's not flat-footed. It was just a promotional thing.
And, you know, obviously we're here in Philadelphia, Boots Ennis, Eddie, a couple other people, you know, called Boots the natural successor to Terence Crawford, and obviously I know your relationship with him. Do you feel that high on Boots as well, or?
Hell yeah, I think Boots is a hell of a fighter. I don't know about the natural sensation, whatever that is to Terence Crawford. I think Boots is his own fighter, Terence is his own fighter, but I think they both hell of a fighters. I've been around Boots for years, and he's the truth.
And last one for me, I'll let you go. Honestly, everyone's talking.
Everyone on the internet is screaming the exact same headline today. Jaron Boots. Ennis just retired Xander Zayas in 7 brutal rounds and immediately called out Terence Crawford. There is just one massive problem with that story. It is a complete lie. What actually happened inside the ring at the Barclays Center, and more importantly, what was said on the microphone while the cameras were rolling, is being buried by the media. The real story involves a massive promotional cover-up, a secret feud that boiled over during fight week, and a multi-million-dollar master plan to drag a legend out of retirement.
You know, Terence Crawford, he was tweeting something after the fight, you know, being coy, like not commenting on it, but seeming to throw his version of some shade. I mean, what's your thoughts on?
I don't care what nobody say, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. That don't bother me. Just like when y'all talk, I don't care what y'all say.
Not even me?
I don't care what none of y'all say, because I speak the truth. You know what I mean? You know, you don't see us cussing and calling people out. Some of them don't know this, they don't know that. We don't do that. You know what I mean? We just come to fight.
Before we get to the microphone, we have to talk about the 3 minutes that completely shifted the narrative of the 154-pound division. Going into this fight, the biggest question was whether the 23-year-old Zayas could drag Boots into deep waters. In the 3rd round, the rising Puerto Rican star answered that question with a terrifying right hand that sent shockwaves through the arena. For a few intense seconds, Ennis was visibly rocked, backed against the ropes, and forced to survive. Fans immediately froze, wondering if the hype train was about to derail. But instead of crumbling, Boots swallowed the damage and turned the fight into an absolute battle, ultimately dropping the champion 3 times. This single round sparked a massive debate. Did Zayas expose a fatal flaw in the new King's armor, or did Boots just prove he has a chin carved out of granite?
Boots, congratulations. What was going through your mind in the 3rd round? What was going through your mind in the 3rd round?
I was chilling, cool, calm, collected.
Nothing? Gotcha. Do you still want to be undisputed? Is the goal?
Most definitely, undisputed for sure.
Hold on, Mike, wait to the mic, yeah.
Hey, Boots, Radio Raheem down in the front. did I hear you correctly? Because sometimes I can't hear it in the arena. Did you say that you weren't hurt in the 3rd round?
No, I was chilling. You know, I just a little lazy on the inside. Got caught a good shot, but I was cool. Yeah.
Did you feel like that 3rd round was the toughest round of your fight career thus far?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm cool, calm, and collected. You know, when it's madness going on, I just get calm. You know, and just be patient.
I'm going to ask you these questions because, granted, you know, you stopped him in the 7th. It was a tremendous performance. But from the audience side, it looked like a tough fight. It didn't look easy. It didn't look, you know, like a walkover.
Yeah.
Where do you rate this fight competition-wise?
Oh, solid competition. Xander, a great fighter. Hope he's okay. Yeah, you know, whether he move up to 60 or stay at 54, I think he'll be champion again.
Once the dust settled and the referee waved it off, the boxing world held its collective breath, waiting for Boots to look into the camera and demand Terence Crawford. But he didn't. When the microphone was finally shoved into his face, Boots completely bypassed the retired legend. Instead, he looked dead ahead and demanded a war with Virgil Ortiz, declaring he wanted the rest of the belts to take over the division.
Virgil came out and said that he was going to sleep you. So I just want to know your comments on those.
Why he ain't take the fight in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Bro, I ain't be talking, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to tell you, I'm really different. He gonna see firsthand. Cause he gets hurt a lot. He flat-footed and he been dropped multiple times. When he get hit by me, it's gonna be different. I'm trying to tell y'all.
What would you grade your performance today?
My performance today, I gotta go back and watch it. I'll probably give myself like a C though. I know I'm way better than that, you know. And, like a C plus, you know. I'm way better than that, you know. I was into the corner a little bit, not too much, you know. They was telling me to do speed, and I was one shot popping. You know, it's the shots you don't see. You know, I should have been using a little bit more speed, but you know, everything is gonna be good. You know, we're gonna go back to the the lab and get ready. You know, and take over this division.
It was a massive curveball that derailed the media's carefully constructed storyline. So why did every major outlet immediately publish articles claiming Ennis called out Bud? Because the truth didn't fit the agenda that had been set in motion long before the opening bell even rang.
As great as Boots Ennis is, I still don't think he's getting the respect from a lot of hardcore boxing fans. They're like, yeah, he looks good, he switches stances. We saw what he did in his last fight, but it was against a no-hoper. This is feels like the moment for Boots. Not only do I think he has to win this fight, I think he needs to dominate and separate himself from Xander Zayas and say, look, this guy's not even on my level. I'm at the Terence Crawford level. That's the level of fighter I am. He has a chance to prove that. He's got to be dominant, he's got to be sensational, and I certainly think he...
To understand the media spin, you have to look directly at the puppet master pulling the strings. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn. Days before the fight, Hearn's ultimate game plan leaked out to the press. He openly admitted that his dream scenario was for Boots to completely dismantle the undefeated Zayas, take the unified titles, and then use that massive spotlight to force Terence Crawford out of retirement. Hearn knew that calling out a happily retired fighter is incredibly difficult, but he gambled that a performance for the ages would break the internet and force Crawford's hand. Even though Boots went completely off script and called out Ortiz instead, Hearn and the boxing media simply ignored it. They pushed the Crawford narrative anyway, desperate to manifest the most lucrative mega fight in the sport.
You know, Terence is only going to fight Boots if there's loads of money on the line, because he knows how good Ennis is, and he's not going to fight anymore unless it's for a lot of money. So we have to do what we say. We have to prove the quality of Ennis, and he has to earn his shot against Crawford. But that is the fight that I look at in 9 to 12 months' time, 3 fights down the line. And I think US fight fans are going to be crying out for that fight. Like, you imagine if we beat Lima on Saturday, we beat Ortiz, you know, we beat Fundora or Mertzalayev or Zayas, everyone will be calling for Ennis v Crawford.
I think a lot of fans are crying for that now.
They have been for years.
Yeah.
But the reality is, we still need to, you know, it's not, I think everyone who, like I say, everybody that knows boxing.
Yeah, boxing fans.
One that knows how good Ennis is, go, me, what a fight. That is unbelievable. But still, you got to educate people that Ennis is as good as I say he is. Right? And you do that by beating the champion. So we've got work to do.
This manufactured media frenzy didn't just come out of nowhere. It was fueled by some incredibly personal bad blood that surfaced right before the weigh-ins. Terence Crawford recently did a scathing interview where he completely dismissed Ennis's skills. Bud didn't just say he would beat Boots. He flat out stated he would have ended the young fighter's career if they had ever stepped into the ring together. Those words reached Ennis during the most intense part of his training camp. Throughout fight week, Boots was visibly agitated by the constant questions about Crawford's disrespect. He fired back, firmly declaring that Crawford is a ghost of the past and that he is the new face of the sport. That underlying tension is exactly why the internet exploded the second Ennis got his hand raised.
We've been tired of hearing about Terence Crawford throughout the build-up to this fight, but he did tweet something that definitely seemed like in relation to this fight without saying much, but you know, given a tweet right after the fight. Any response to Terence Crawford, who had something to say?
Yeah, we ain't worried about what he got to say. He retired. You know, we focus on task and taking over this division. We ain't worried about no retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terence up. Terence, he retired. You leave Terence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Y'all can have fun and enjoy his family.
Boots.
He made a statement. Who that?
Blood made a statement.
All of them. I don't care who makes the statement. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you like it is. Yeah.
Right. Boots Bosey, man, congrats. Hell of a fight, hell of a performance, man. Question, were you more shocked that he made it out of that first round assault, or that he got up from that perfectly placed, the second knockdown? Were you more shocked that he got up from that, or made it out of the first round?
I don't know.
The world wants to know.
I mean, the first knockdown, I wasn't trying to like really rush it. You know, I knew it. He a game fighter. You know, he got good fundamentals. You know, he's a solid fighter, and he was a champion for a reason. So you can't just go in there and rush it and try to get the knockout. You know, you gotta be patient, and that's what I did. So, but the second knockdown, I definitely thought he was going.
While fans were busy arguing about the drama, undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson offered a perspective that completely flipped the script. Shakur ignored the viral third-round scare and focused on the undeniable genius of Boots' performance. Pushing back against critics who claimed Ennis took too much damage, Stevenson pointed out that the defense and ring generalship were actually operating at a masterclass level. In fact, Shakur went as far as comparing Ennis' sharpness to a vintage, flawless Floyd Mayweather showing. When one of the most technical fighters on the planet says you just put on a Mayweather-esque clinic, it suddenly makes Crawford's claim about ending Boots' career look incredibly questionable.
But that being said, you know, Ennis has always been a special talent. And there was a time him and Benavidez were my favorite fighters to watch in the sport, that I was always banging the drum for them to get the shots against Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. It never happened. Terence threw some shade after the fight, which is, you know, between them. I don't think the fight will ever happen, but I think that fight could have been special once upon a time, even if Crawford was the favorite, deservedly. Ennis's speed and power, being ambidextrous like Crawford, he was a threat to Crawford and always will be if Crawford's ever thinking of getting back in the ring, especially at this age. But there came a time where Ennis's career was stalling out a little bit. You know, he unifies, he becomes the welterweight champion against Stanionis, but welterweight became thin and the lightweights moved up once he left, really. And welterweight just wasn't as talent rich as it was. He wasn't getting the big fights for a few different reasons, but now he's not only back in business, his stock is higher than ever. He had a great ring walk with Jadakiss, and the crowd in Brooklyn really loved him and took to him. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans here tonight, but it was really about 50-50, maybe 60-40, you could argue, for Zayas, but he drew a lot of fans in Brooklyn tonight too, who all loved his performance. So he's never been bigger as a draw. He still showed just enough vulnerability to get the other top guys to want to jump in the ring with him. And sure, he'll have to tighten some things up against those guys, but his talent is just undeniable.
The fallout from this fight has completely fractured the boxing community, turning platforms like X and Reddit into digital battlegrounds. Right now, fans are essentially split into two warring camps, and ironically, they are both using the exact same footage to prove their point. Camp A is relentlessly sharing clips of the third round where Zayas stunned Ennis. They are tagging Crawford in the videos with captions claiming that if a 23-year-old kid could hurt Boots, a prime Terence Crawford would have put him away. On the flip side, Camp B is spamming the brutal 7th round stoppage. They are challenging Crawford to come out of retirement, arguing that Ennis' ability to survive adversity and brutally close the show proves he is the only true heir to the pound-for-pound throne.
Tonight.
Yo, what? I don't know what you talking about.
Listen, listen. That was before tonight, right? Yeah. Listen, we don't need to prove nothing. We don't need to chase a fight with Virgil. Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying, listen, we're not getting into that. What I'm saying is, listen, and I said this before Boots come in. We are not going to sit there with full of arrogance like some people would right now and say, tough luck, Virgil Ortiz. He's the unified world champion. He's a superstar of the sport. Get in line and take your 15% for a voluntary defence. That's what some people would say if they were arrogant. What we say is, we love the big fights. But we took that Virgil Ortiz fight. He signed for that fight, right? We took that fight for no belt. We took it for the fans to prove he was the best. Unfortunately for Virgil Ortiz, the team, everybody, Everett, Sean, we did an unbelievable job to land the unified world championship. And now he's the unified world champion. So, sorry Virgil, in a way, we want to be undisputed. But we don't rule out that fight. It's a big fight. But he's about legacies. As he said, it's a legacy.
The 154-pound division is officially on fire, and Jaron Ennis is holding the match. He walked into hostile territory, survived the darkest moment of his professional career, and walked out as a unified champion with the whole world watching. But the real victory isn't just the belts he wrapped around his waist. It's the fact that he has the entire sport arguing about a fight that hasn't even been signed yet. Did Boots Ennis just put on the kind of legendary performance that will drag Terence Crawford out of a comfortable retirement for one last war? Or did that terrifying 3rd round just give the legend all the proof he needs to stay away from the new king of the division? The answer to that question might just change the landscape of boxing forever.